I just finished writing the best Claude skill for making Zack D film style AI ads. And in this video, I want to give it all away for free. Unlike other systems, mine will not just help you make image prompts. It'll help you plan and storyboard all the visuals and their transitions, make all of the images and videos. Not only that, it also contains a pre-built, ready-to-use Zack D Films voice clone, and of course, contains the classic Zack D Films music track. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the way this video is going to work is that essentially I'm going to walk you through my full process of making a finished ad using the Zack D film style, of course. So this is the ad that I'm going to be showing you my full process of making, not gatekeeping, hiding anything. And I'm actually at the end of the video going to share this skill file, of course, but also the full chat in which I made this. I'm actually going to share with you the full chat where not only did I make the visuals, I actually did research, gave it my script, and then you're going to see exactly how the skill was able to help me make my storyboard, then make my plan, the character, all of the images, all of the issues that I had, but that the skill was able to handle in order to get this final result. By the way, for context, this is an ad that I made for a digital product about keto.
If you feel like keto is too hard, too boring, and you can't find anything for Thermomix, maybe it's because nobody told you the one secret that makes everything 10 times easier. Why is it that some people do keto for years with no issues, no boredom, no spending hours searching for recipes, while others struggle and quit after 2 weeks? It's the same diet, so why are results so different? Contrary to what most people think, it's not willpower, and it's not cooking talent. The difference is something else entirely, and most people don't even know this difference exists. So how do people who succeed at keto do it? They have a ready system. Recipes tested, calculated, ready to use. That's the whole secret. You can build a system like that yourself, but it takes time. Collect recipes for months, test them, calculate macros, convert everything for Thermomix. Or you can buy a ready system from someone who already did the work. For the price of your weekly coffee, 500 keto recipes with all macros calculated, one-click import into Cookie Dough, and a Thermomix that finally works for you, not against you. Link below.
Alright, so that's the full ad that I'm going to show you how to make. Let's get into it. Inside of my chat here, which once again I'm going to share at the end, I'm going to publish a chat. It all starts with my product, in this case, a digital keto list of recipes, for which I do a bunch of Reddit research. What really helped with writing this particular script was using some reference ads. I mean, I absolutely love this ad. It's a Zack D film style ad for Via Socks. But so what I like to do is that I like to pull Reddit insights for my product and then essentially just give a reference inspiration script from an ad that has already proven to perform on Meta. And that usually helps the AI make much better scripts. I gave it my full script. So what I did was I asked it to do a bit of research, and then here I gave it my full voiceover, because I actually already generated my voiceover in another conversation. And so what it did is that it analyzed the audio, as you can see here. It got the pacing of the audio. So it understood, when certain words are said, how long it takes to say certain sentences, so that when it helps me, here you can see the full analysis, so that when it helps me do the storyboarding here, full storyboard, it understands how long it takes to say certain voiceover lines, and so it's able to help me make better visuals, or like generate the videos with the proper pacing. I would say. And so yeah, the way that the skill works, here you can see it pulled the context gathered skill Zack D Films. So it'll work the exact same way inside of Claude or any other agent that you use. It essentially shows you a few different options. Here it starts with like the stage. So I ended up picking the light grid, but you also have the light clean, dark grid, dark clean, or the clean studio. You pick one, and then it'll be able to like pull that image and help you generate your images and videos referencing that consistently. But so here, as you can see, I have the full storyboard, and once I had my full storyboard, I generated my character. I always start by generating my character, and then here you can see this was the visual hook for the video. So it essentially represents like being scattered and overwhelmed by the regiment. Here you can see also that I essentially concepted 2 different visual hooks. Yeah, here, see 3 options. It's super important to really pay attention to the visual hook and the general concept. In this case, I had like a few different options, and I ended up liking A and C. And so I just asked the chat to essentially test A and C to see which ones came out best. I ended up preferring A the most, so I just clicked preferred, and then I continued. Yeah, and so here, as you can see, full storyboard. Here you can see it also helped me plan the transitions. Super important, because Zack D films, the Zack D film style is defined in a big way by the fact that it flows very nicely between scenes. It's a continuous video. There aren't hard cuts, and if there are hard cuts, they're rare. And so it's super important that you plan your transitions. And so here, the skill will actually help you transition through different scenes, so that when you use either a start and end frame workflow or an Omni-Reference workflow, the difference is that start and end frame, you're generating a start frame, generating an end frame, and then using something like Kling 3.0 to generate to chain generations. Omni-Reference workflow is where you use Seedance 2.0 or Google Omni. You pass in multiple reference images, as you can see here, because I ended up using Google Omni. More on that later. But so here you can see this is an Omni-Reference workflow where I'm using Gemini Omni Flash, and I'm inputting multiple different scenes and essentially asking it to transition the scenes. So it only has one job, which is mainly to transition, animate, and also to adapt the scenes a bit, which Google Omni does do like quite well. Sometimes does a bit too much, but it's okay. All right, so here you can see my full workflow. Once I have my full storyboard and I'm happy with it, I will just generate my scenes. This is the awesome part. It's referencing the background and our character in every single generation, which is a big deal because of course we need our background and we need our character to be consistent. And so that saves you a massive amount of time. I didn't write a single prompt. I didn't, attach a single image. It just handled everything for me. And I'm generating all of these with Seedream 4.5. Now, there's a lot of debate on image models. The 3 big ones are Nano Banana 2, GPT Image 2, and Seedream 4.5. Now, if you're doing realism, Nano Banana 2 or GPT Image 2, I'm not going to get into the debate which one is better for realism, because the truth is I'm not even sure. But for animated ads, I do have a strong opinion that Nano Banana 2 is generally better than GPT Image 2, because Nano Banana 2 is a bit more creative. However, Seedream 4.5 is on a league of its own when it comes to creativity, the composition, and when it comes to Pixar. So like I would say, I define this style as like a Pixar style. Like Seedream 4.5 is the only model that can really nail this style of like Pixar character. And so what I recommend is generate using Seedream 4.5 and then make modifications with Nano Banana 2. Here we have an example actually. You can see Nano Banana 2 here, but I generated the first 2 with Seedream 4.5. They came out looking a lot better. And then these 2 are Nano Banana. This is Nano Banana 2, and this is Nano Banana 2. No bueno. Like it flops. It's no good. All right, but so if I continue, you can see I just continued with that workflow for each generation or each beat of the video. Boom, boom, boom. And then once I had all of my generations, I strategized a bit more with the chat on how to handle the workflow and how to handle the transitions and scenes. Well, actually, I can give you a bit more detail on this. So the way that I structure things is that essentially, and the skill should have some level of detail of this, but essentially I define beats as scenes. So scenes are beats for me, and one scene is usually one reference image. And then when I'm in an Omni-Reference workflow, which is a workflow in which you generate one scene, one generation, with multiple reference images for multiple scenes. So here it's handling 3 scenes, I think, 3 shots. Well, I essentially, in the storyboarding stage, batch them. So I call them batches. And here you can see batch A, batch B, batch C, batch D. Each of these is an Omni-Reference generation. Once again, an Omni-Reference generation is either using Seedance 2 Omni or Gemini Omni. Once the storyboard is done, it's pretty much just a question of generating. And here you can see. Okay, so I actually started by testing Seedance 2 Mini versus Gemini Omni. And what I ended up preferring was Gemini Omni. Here you can see Seedance 2 Mini actually respected my reference image better. However, it wasn't able to handle the transitions as smoothly. It wasn't even close to Gemini when it comes to really like animating in a smooth way. So yeah, I ended up going with Gemini because it was just like a much more reliable model. It was actually my first time using Gemini Omni, like for this style at least, and I was really surprised. And so Seedance 2 Mini and Gemini Omni, they cost the same, and so I was very pleasantly surprised, and I just said, okay, I'll continue with Gemini Omni. But I'll show you the comparison. Yeah, so not great. And then this was Gemini. Yeah, so the transitions were better with this one, which is why I went with it. And so here, as you can see, I told it we're moving forward with Omni. I told it to pull the last frame of the Gemini Omni video so that it could smoothly transition. Here it messed up, so I had to tell it to like reference the proper images. But here you can see it was able to reference the last frame of our first Omni generation and then give the remaining scenes. So this one, then this, and that's it. Yeah, the 4 remaining scenes. Yeah, because there's a transition. All right. Yeah, and so I'll show you really quick in CapCut how, when there are these I usually don't worry too much about the absolute perfect pacing, because in CapCut I usually slow down clips or speed them up in order to match the voiceover perfectly. But yeah, so here you can see, did the same thing for this, then pulled the last frame because I had an idea for like a smoother transition, so where like she falls down and then like the camera goes from a top down point of view. And so I ended up like pulling the last frame of generations and then giving that last frame to the next generation, doing that repeatedly, so that even between Omni-Reference generations I could have smooth transitions essentially, which is kind of like a start and end frame workflow, or like a mix of both. Yeah, and then I just did that for the remaining scenes here, as you can see, and that was it. So yeah, that was pretty much the whole workflow. As you can see, I've got all of the assets here, and in the description of the video I will have the URL to my chat. So I'm gonna make it public, just like you could visit like a public Claude chat. You're gonna be able to see all the messages I sent and all of the prompts for free. All I ask in return is please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Yeah. All right, let me just quickly show you what happens in CapCut. Okay, so this is what my timeline usually looks like. If this was a finished ad, I would also have captions and I would have a title hook here. Never forget to make your title hooks when making ads. Very important.
If you feel like keto is...
I would usually have like a title hook here, and then make it something relevant to the video with a really good curiosity gap ideally. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. Sometimes it flows nicely. So here, what I'm showing you is the cuts. Well, first off, you can see that these clips are slowed down to 0.8. You kind of have to sometimes slow them down or speed them up. So I had to slow them down a bit here. Then here I had to trim a bit of the next clip. Here, speed up, speed down. Here, as you can see, this is the Zack D Films voiceover, and then this is the music track, which your Claude skill has access to. Your Claude skill has the URL to the music track for free that it can download, and you'll be able to include inside of your timeline to get the nice like dun, 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 dun. You get it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I have an Instagram page where I post a lot more content almost every day, so you can follow me there, DM me there if you have any questions, and yeah, see you in the next video.